can't be messing about like that on the circuit. And Hugh Plum is closing in on the two leaders. This has been a fabulous, I mean, he's the quickest man on the track, Hugh Plum, and has been for the last few laps. And 1:36.7 last time around, 1:36.8 I saw a moment ago. Who was that by? That was Eric Foss. So the Mercedes are coming to life at the end of their tyre run, but surely all these guys have got to stop.
Another car that's running very quickly right now is the number 39 Audi. That's not too far behind as well.
I've got a feeling Jan Heerlen is going to end up off the circuit here if he's not careful. Yeah.
Yes, it's
57 and 18 under review. And Heerlen again gets side by side and finally, rather begrudgingly, lets the 57 Sonic supported AMG GT4 go through. But then immediately goes back at it on the inside. He's gone back up the inside, right on the pit wall side.
Yeah.
Well, this, I'm sorry.
That's a much lighter car, and he's taken advantage of that. He's going to get it. Well, hats off there to Hohenadel for not giving him an assist under braking for the Andretti hairpin. He gets the move done again.
There would have been many drivers fighting at the head of the field who might have had a sense of humour failure there and put the old chrome horn in. Next, of course, it's Hugh Plum who's coming through. Now, will Jan Heerlen be helpful towards the championship leader, or is he still too busy fighting with the car that is fighting with his teammate for the lead of the race as it stands? 12 minutes to go. Pretty certain none of these top three can get to the end. And Hugh Plum has to be exceedingly clever here and very careful. Hohenadel's used up some tyres though, Jeremy, trying to get by Jan Heerlen. Saw that car squirming around. We'll give you the result of the review as soon as we get it on our screen. But the stewards deciding to have a look, race control deciding to have a look at that. Good news for Hohenadel, he's got the lead back down to just on 7/10 of a second.
Well, yeah, I mean, the top three are absolutely nose to tail now as they complete lap 63 with just less than 11 minutes remaining.
Oh, in fact, Hohenadel's lost a bit of time that time. Now it goes back out to 1.5. Hugh Plum's in there. Jan Heerlen is going to go by again. And this is frustrating Hohenadel. Hohenadel is effectively here, Jeremy, having to defend from a car that's a lap down when that car had the opportunity to unlap itself and drive away, and he's not doing that. And he's having to worry about this car behind instead of setting his sights on Dylan McAvan at the head of the field. I understand this is a team game and why you would swap cars around, but is this on the very edge of acceptability in terms of team tactics, Jeremy?
Well, I think it is, yeah. I mean, you know, it's just not the way things are done, generally speaking, in this country. Whether that's right or wrong is open for debate, perhaps. But certainly, he's putting that car in a dangerous position, and he is interfering with the leaders, and it's just not something that's generally done. He knows that. He's been in this country a long time as Jan Heerlen. Heck of a driver.
Yeah, and Hugh Plum has backed away from that for a little while, and I think rightly so. Under 10 minutes. When are we going to see any movement down in the pit lane? Let's check with Continental Tyre pit lane reporter Shea Adam, who's looking like they might have to come in.
The Camaro team from Rebel Rock, the 71, they are standing up on the pit wall. Fuel nozzle is in hand, but they have multiple crew guys, so they might just throw tires at it too.
I think if you're going to put tires on, you bring them in earlier than this. Only 9 minutes to go. It's only a handful of laps, isn't it? I think if I was going to lose my track position for a splash of fuel, 2 tires.
I did talk about that battle, but for third place, by the way, in TCR. Number 75 car has moved past the 74 and is pulling away. So that is not good news for Kuno Whitmer and Rodrigo Salas in terms of their championship aspirations.
Vincent Bruin says Jan Heerlen surely deserves a penalty. He's a lap down. He was intentionally holding up Hohenadel so that he couldn't catch his teammate and leader of the race, I see that as poor driving. At IMSA Radio, let's have your thoughts on that.
Certainly no respect for the overall race leaders, that's for sure.
No. You know, Jeremy, motor racing, a lot of motor racing eventually comes down to respect, and what you give is what you get sometimes.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Jan Heylen demands of his drivers in USF 2000. I can tell you that. He's put out a lot of penalties over the last few weeks on the Master Road to Indy. So, reap what you sow. But the other guy I talked about a little while ago, Jeff Westphal, is absolutely flying in that number 39 Audi. He's made up another position on that last lap. He's right with Robin Liddell. I'm not sure whether he's got past him yet or not, but if he hasn't, he's closing in very rapidly.
Oh, down the inside again. Is that Heylen? Yes, it is. And it's Heylen on the championship leader, having a go at the championship leader into the final corner. This is extraordinary stuff. Yeah. Excuse me. It wasn't the championship leader. My apologies. It was again Hohenadel, and Hohenadel has let him go through. Hohenadel lifted off on the entrance to the Andretti hairpin and has let Jan Heylen go through. Basically, so he doesn't have to worry about him behind. Into the pit lane for fuel only comes Robin Liddell. About 8 seconds now. 10 seconds of fuel, or thereabouts. And the Rebel Rock Racing number 71 Chevy Camaro is back into the fight. Won't hold on to the top 10 position it had. Shea Adam is watching other pit crews coming to life in the last 7 minutes.
19 Stephen Cameron BMW crew guys have the fuel nozzle in hand, as do the 80 crew, the MBRP crew for Martin Barkey and Brett Sandberg. That Mustang will be coming in here shortly.
How long can McEvan, and Christian Hohenadel go? McEvan and Hohenadel 1.2 seconds apart, but separated by another Porsche. And Jan Heylen's got the wiggle on now, actually. He's pulled away a little bit from the Mercedes behind him and Hohenadel. I think Hohenadel's just decided not to bother, and he's not going to try and chase down the RS1 Porsche. I think Hohenadel's going to go to the end, or he's going to try and go to the end. We could have another one of these races, Jeremy, where 3 or 4 cars run out of fuel on the last lap or so. This is extraordinary stuff. Extraordinary stuff. And Scott Maxwell and Trent Hinman, the 2 cars who we think are the most sure in that top group to go, are lapping now about 1.5 seconds to 1.8 seconds faster than the cars ahead of them. Even Hugh Plum has heaved on into the pit lane. Gregory Liefugger in the BMW number 19. This looks like a splash of fuel as well, Shea.
It is just a very quick splash. The fuel nozzle's been in for 4 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I would have expected them to pull it out at 10. There we go. Now it comes back out, and the BMW leaves the pit lane. The other intriguing thing to remember, John, is what I talked about with Owen. You're in a championship fight. When do you give it up and come in so that you get points? Well, the 28, the RS1 Porsche that's leading right now, they are in the top 3 of the championship as well. When are they going to decide that points are more valuable than the win?
Well, Jan Heylen is now cleared off from the Mercedes. He's sitting right in behind his teammate, but the Mercedes begins to close in again now. Now, are we going to see fun and games again here? 4.5 minutes to go. Hugh Plum's right there. Top 3 separated by 2 seconds. And then Scott Maxwell right there. Scott Maxwell with fuel to burn, it would seem, at the moment. And the top 4 are within 3 seconds. But there is an interloper. There is a potential joker in the pack. Although I'm sure that's not what Christian Hohenadel will be calling Jan Heylen after this race. Still no decision from the stewards.
No, just to let it go.
Well, they'll be watching very closely here. Jan Heylen needs to get past his teammate and get back on the lead lap and disappear, or drop behind this battle. He shouldn't be in there, I'm afraid. I understand the team game, but I don't like this, Jeremy. It doesn't sit well with me at all.
I don't either. Really good run from number 99, Aston Martin. It's still saying it's Chris Wilson at the wheel of that car, so I'm going to presume it is.
Well, they've done 2 pit stops in that car, lasting some 16, 17 laps ago.
Can those leaders really make that fuel last?
Well, it's extraordinary if they can, Jeremy. They're going to try, aren't they, with 3 minutes to go. Scott Maxwell's still the man for me, most likely. He's got younger tyres by probably 10 laps on most of the guys around him. Trent Hinman hasn't been able to go with him, even though he was released some, 10 minutes ago. It was 15 minutes to go, so that's 13 minutes ago he was released. He hasn't been able to make that happen, and here comes Maxwell to the right-hand side across the start-finish line. Got traffic ahead of him. It's Stephen Simpson in the 54 TCR car. Has to drive back to the inside, to the left-hand side. And now the battle is on with 2 Mercedes AMG GT4s. Oh, there's a tap from Hugh Plum on Hohenadel, and here comes Scott Maxwell. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Maxwell down the inside of the championship leader. Doesn't get it done at 3. They're in our sight now. Dylan is trying to get a little bit of a gap here. All kinds of traffic. Oh my goodness me, I can't believe that Scott Maxwell's gone for that gap. He hits the Mini and turns him around, and the Mini is taken out. Scott Maxwell went for a gap that was closing.
Well, yeah.
Oh, dear me.
He did, but the Mini really should have probably paid more attention there, I think. He's nothing like the same sort of speed. He should have been right out of the way. He was trying to get over to the right-hand side of the racetrack, but the Mustang was already making that move.
That was Matt Pombo in the 73 Mini, and the only reason he didn't hit the wall there is because it was a front-wheel drive car, and he nailed the throttle and probably closed his eyes and prayed a bit. Scott Maxwell going for that gap. He knows he's got a car that can go.
It's going to be white flag this time around.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to the end. This is huge news, Jeremy. Incredible. Huge news. And what a result for the championship, for the RS1 team. They're still in the championship fight, and they could still win this, or they could end up 4th. Or not finish. Is the white flag out this time? It is. 73 and 46. I don't think it was the 46 that did that. I'm pretty certain it was Scott Maxwell. Down the outside, Hugh Plum has a look for 2nd place on Hohenadel. Can't get it done on the outside of the hairpin. Indeed, that has been no action, the Mini and Scott Maxwell. That's just been corrected on the screen. So here comes Scott Maxwell, out of fuel. The 57, Hohenadel's out of fuel. He's struggling past us. He's out of fuel. There we go, half a lap to go. And it's disaster for Winwood. 1 lap short. 1 lap short. And Plum goes through to 2nd. Maxwell through to 3rd. Now who has got the... He stopped on the same lap as the 1st and 2nd place cars. Scott Maxwell's the man who stopped late. There's 10 laps later. Jan Halen might have to push his teammate home yet.
And Jeff Wessel, by the way, just overtaken Trent Hinman on this lap for, well, who knows what position. I'm astonished that these guys have been able to make it to the end from there.
Coming into the last couple of corners, Jan Halen, the leader's out! The leader's out of fuel! And through goes Plum! Was that Makovic slowing down? It was! The Porsche's out of fuel, and now Jan Helen's in the mix for 1st and 2nd. And I tell you what, Scott Maxwell won't have him there. If he thinks he can make for the line, he'll be in the wall. Plum goes by. He's going to win it. He's going to win it. Doesn't matter what Halen does now. And what a run. What a run for Hugh Plum, who goes through. And it's another victory for the championship leaders. Owen Trinkler goes absolutely berserk. It's disaster on the other side of the story, with 2 cars running out of fuel on the last lap. Extraordinary stuff. Maxwell comes through to 2nd. Jeff Westphal for the Audi team, number 39. Here comes the 57 of Hohenadel. He's just about going to get the line. I'm not sure he's even going to finish in the top 10.
I don't think he is going to get to the line. He's uphill from here. I don't think he's got enough momentum to get there. I'm absolutely astounded that Hugh Plum's managed to go an hour and 15 minutes under green. Okay, he was managing a tyre, so he wasn't pushing flat out all the way, but incredible to me that he could get that far on that tank of fuel. A brilliant win by that team. I mean, Joe Vardy, he is the master of strategy, no question about that.
Joe we trust.
A great run also by Scott Maxwell, and hats off also to Jeff Westphal and Tyler Macquarie for coming home in third place for Peregrine Racing and Carbine Autosport, that first season team.
So we have got to get down and get some reaction here. Let's go to TCR first of all. Tom Long wins the race. Britt Casey Jr. is on the wall with Shea.
Well, I wanted to start with Britt Casey Jr. because there have been a couple races this year where fuel has let you down. Today, it rewarded you guys. A win, it means you're back in the championship hunt. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you. It feels, yeah, we needed this one. Our last win was at Mosport, or Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, so it's been a little bit since then. It feels really good to be on the top step. We really needed this result. So, yeah, one race to go. We'll see how we can take it into Atlanta.
Bring it to Road Atlanta.
Thank you.
Spencer Pumpelly has had no luck with fuel. He's got it across the line, so the 28 car has finished in 7th. Dylan McGovern has done a great job. Spencer Pumpelly had the same. Remember when he's driving for Flying Lizards? Bubba Clark's just reminded me in my ear. In Flying Lizards, he was leading, and he couldn't get it across the line and finished 6th. It's 7th position, but Hohenadel is not across the line. But Hugh Plum is. I'm not sure he's going to get the car back, but Owen Trinkler doesn't give any problems for that because they've taken another victory and their championship lead is extended.